Alright, what's going on everyone? We're back again with another video. We're going to go over the 8-week intermediate strength block that I made. That's free for you to use if you want. I figured I'd just throw a little video in here as well of me while I'm going over everything. Alright, so when we follow along on the screen, this is the website that I'll have linked below, powerliftingcoaching.com, and then we go to services and we're going to go to free stuff. And so we're going to go, we already did the first one. And the second one, we're going to go to this third one here, the 8-week intermediate strength block. Again, this terminology of beginner, intermediate, advanced is a little bit arbitrary, and it kind of just depends on a lot of different variables as far as how much lifting you've done, how much competing you've done, whether you're bulking or cutting or staying in maintenance, what kind of sleep, hydration, all that kind of stuff can then affect you and move you up and down these scales a little bit. They're not like distinct things that you fall into based on a certain max or whatever. All right, so just a general term, but they're 8-week intermediate strength block. So then you will click on the view program if you go through it through the website. But I already have it pulled up over here, so we're going to go right to it. All right, so first thing will be this start here tab, and so it's going to have just information about the company as far as coaching page, gym page, email. You can contact me with any questions, Instagram page, YouTube, and then obviously the link to this video. And then here we have each tab. I just put a little description of what the tab is meant for, but we'll go through it right now. So first up, we have the athlete profile tab. You can put in your name, your information in here, your 1 rep maxes in pounds over here. And then here we have the volume tracker. So you can see the squats in blue, the bench is in red, and the deadlift is in yellow. Since this is a strength block, it's not like your farther out volume block, you're going to have some volume dropping off, as you can see here. So it's not like we're trying to increase our volume each week and get to a peak. We've kind of already done that previously. So in this point, we're hitting our peak in our volume for all 3 lifts on week 2. And then from week 2 to week 8, we're actually going down in volume. It is not a linear step down, since I do like doing the daily undulating. So you're going to see some weeks where you're going to have a little pop up. So here, for example, from week 5 to week 6, you can see the squat pops up from 34 to 40, bench goes from 47 to 53. So you're going to have this little undulation until you get down to week 8. But the general idea is that you're increasing from week 1 to week 2 and then decreasing from week 2 to week 8. And that's just pulling it from this table if you just want to see the numbers in that way instead of the little chart here. All right, so since it is 8 weeks, I broke it into 2 tabs. The first tab is going to be weeks 1 through 4, and then the second tab is going to be weeks 5 through 8. So when you pull up the file, don't forget, go up to File, make a copy. So you make a copy on your own Google Drive, or you can download it as an Excel file, and then you'll be able to go and edit it and put your 1 rep maxes to change these. Okay, so basic overview here. You're going to have your weeks going from the top down, and then you're going to see each day. So for example, for day 1, you can see we're doing our competition squat, focusing on building our technique for our competition lift. But now we're going to start bringing in some variations. For example, we have front squats to build up the quads and the glutes some more. And then we have the pause deadlift to focus on technique right around the knees, especially if you are a sumo puller. Work on some explosiveness, and then just so it's lighter intensity after all the volume that you're doing on the competition squats and front squat. Going into day 2, TNG, touch and go bench. So we're not focusing on the pause here, since we are a little bit further out from a competition. We're going to use the touch and go bench just so you can do higher reps a little bit more easily, and you can get a little bit higher weight in that way. And then we're using a closer grip bench to hit the triceps. Typically powerlifters use a fairly wide grip, so we want to do the closer grip, hit the triceps more, and get a longer range of motion in. But if you happen to be someone who does use a very narrow grip, and then you're not going to be able to really do a closer grip than that, then you can switch that to a wider grip bench so that you work on the wider grip a little bit and maybe hit your pecs some more. All right, we got some accessory work in there. You can pick whatever you want for the back and for the triceps, and you can switch it up on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis. All right, now you can see on day 3, we're bringing in the pin squat. So now we're not doing a competition lift, and not necessarily too much of a close variation, and that now we're breaking up the eccentric and concentric phase. All right, so we're going to try and do that in the hole. So you're going to set up your pins to where about you hit your depth, or maybe just slightly higher, like if you're right at parallel, it's fine. And then you're going to go down and you're going to rest the bar on the pins to break up the two phases, and then from that dead stop, you're going to have to squat up. It's going to make it quite a bit harder, and that's why we have some lighter loads for that. Then we have our competition deadlift, so we can work on our competition practice and our technique for the deadlift. And we have Romanian deadlift to build up a load of hamstring, glutes, and spinal erectors. And then our day 4, we have our competition bench to work on the skill for that lift, and some dumbbell shoulder press to build up the delts. And again, we have accessory work in there with the McGill stir the pot. You can look that up. Just helps with bracing and working the core. All right, so those are the exercises. All right, so now we're going to go over, you have the sets and reps. This is very explainable. But now compared to the beginner blocks, we have 2 options for the intensity. So we have a percentage. So we have 100 as all the maxes right now. So this is, for example, 4 sets of 5 reps with 75%. But here in the comments, I also have a first set RPE 6. So that's going to tell you what the RPE should be, that first set of the 4 working sets. So if you feel comfortable with RPE, then you can use that RPE 6. If you feel comfortable with just percentages, then you can use the 75%. And if you want, you can use both of them. So you can use the 75%, whatever the load is telling you, as a guide of kind of where you should be for that day, and then use the RPE to adjust slightly up and down based on how you're feeling that day. And for the assistance exercises, then you may be very strong or very weak in that. Like, for example, a front squat, I always sucked at front squat, so the percentage might be off on that, so you might go more to the RP on that. But for the competition lifts, the percentage might be more accurate for you, so you can stick with the percentage. So you have the option there to go with either or both. For the accessory, just like the bodybuilding work, the work in the muscles, that's all RPE, because it just depends on what exercise you pick and how strong or weak you are at those. All right, so that basically covers all the weeks. Exercises are pretty much the same. In the second half, some of the exercises will switch slightly to slightly less volume. So for example, you have a 2-count pause squat instead of the front squat, which I tend to do lower reps with. So you're going to have a little bit less volume that way, a little bit more intensity. You're also going to have the block pulls. So instead of doing the Romanian deadlifts, which I tend to do higher reps, the block pulls I tend to do slightly lower reps, and it's going to give you a little bit more overload, so you're going to have higher intensity for that. So you can go through, check out all the exercises, check out the percentages and RPE, see if it's something that you like, see if the frequency matches what you've been doing, and you can go ahead and do that. All right, and then the final thing I just want to say is kind of what you do afterwards. So when you get to this final week, it gets kind of light in both volume and intensity. So you can see here you're doing 3 sets of 5 at 70% on the squat and the deadlift. On bench, you're doing 4 sets of 5 at 70%. And then to end the week, you're doing 3 sets of 3 at 75% on squat and deadlift, and 4 sets of 3 on bench. So it's a little bit of a deload week, so that then you can be prepared to go to whatever you want to go to next. So you may want to go from this to a peaking block, and then eventually compete or just test your maxes in the gym. So this will kind of give you a little bit of a lighter week to kind of recover, and then you might go into like a 4-week peaking block that's going to be higher percentages, and then max out at the very end of that. Or you may want to repeat this. So this kind of gives you, again, that little bit of break, let your body recover, and then you can start up again with week 1. And what you can do here in the athlete profile is you can then go and increase these maxes. All right, so you don't have to test. You don't have to test your 1 rep max. You can. It may not be as efficient after this type of block because you aren't doing the higher intensity. You aren't going into that 90% plus. You can then also do an AMRAP if you want as many reps as possible, and pick 80 or 85%. Do as many reps as you can. Use a 1 rep max calculator and then figure out what your max is and use that. Or you can just pick a certain percentage. So if you're an intermediate lifter, you probably aren't going to be putting 10% on your lifts after just 8 weeks. You might be putting 1 to 4% on your lifts after 8 weeks. So you could just take whatever 2% see what it is for your maxes, see if it goes up 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, and then put that in as your new maxes into the program and run it again with those new numbers. So that will give you new numbers for everything that's percentage based. And you can always, again, make those adjustments based on the RPE. So if your estimated that you put into the calculator in this file is incorrect, then you can adjust it with the RPE. And then all the accessory work, you can always change what accessory exercises you're doing. And the RPE is going to dictate your progress in those anyways. So again, you don't have to test your 1 rep max and have to put that exact 1 rep max into this program in order to run it again. All right. And then the other option also is if you're just bouncing between kind of like high volume and then moderate volume and intensity, and say you're doing this at your moderate volume intensity, then you take that week 8 kind of rest week, and then you could transition into a volume block if you want, if you're really far out from a competition. So you can kind of take this similar structure, and instead of doing 4 sets of 5, you might go to 4 sets of 6, and then 4 sets of 8, and then 4 sets of 10. Instead of doing the 3 sets of 3, you might go up to 3 sets of 4, 3 sets of 5, and so on, and then be able to do a volume block for however many weeks you want, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then come back to this afterwards. That way, you're not doing the same program over and over again and getting less returns out of it, and maybe it's a little bit monotonous, it's boring if you're doing the same thing. So you can go and do something else, higher reps, switch some of the assistance work, and then come back and try it again. So hopefully that helps you out. Like I said, you can find this on my website that I have. Hold on one second. So powerliftingcoaching.com, and then you come to the free stuff, like I said, and it will be that third one there. And I'll have the link in the description that will send you straight to the program if you just want to go straight to the program. And then if you also want to look at other stuff on here under the free stuff, I do have below all the programs lots of different helpful articles, blog posts, videos, that kind of stuff on different topics that you can look at. And I kind of put who the author is or who the company is, so you can look at that kind of stuff. And then if you are interested in coaching as well, that's a separate tab. So if you want to go look at the coaching, you can see what I offer if you want something that's even more customized than the free programs I have. And obviously you get the constant contact and the adjustments to the program as it's going. All right, so hopefully that helps you out, and have a good day.